advocacy and training to build capacity everywhere we work, and helping governments vaccinate their populations to reduce human suffering from preventable infectious diseases. We work with governments, companies, foundations, universities, hospitals, and other non-profit organizations to take innovative vaccine technology from need to impact. Our commitment to prioritizing poverty-associated infectious diseases led to the world's first affordable oral cholera vaccine and a new generation typhoid conjugate vaccine. Our priority disease areas also include chikungunya, shigella, salmonella, schistosomiasis, group A strep, hepatitis E, HPV, and COVID-19, in addition to global health issues such as antimicrobial resistance. We believe a world free of vaccine-preventable infectious diseases is possible. Join us in building a healthier, safer, and more equitable world. What does vaccination look like? Vaccination looks like babies smiling up at their parents. Vaccination looks like children in classrooms and adults going to work healthy and confident. Vaccination looks like a bustling market and a bus full of people heading to different destinations. Vaccination looks like growing old and looking back on a life well lived. Vaccination makes life possible. At the International Vaccine Institute, we believe everyone should lead a full and productive life. Infectious diseases affect every country in the world, but not everyone in the world is equally protected against them. That's where IVI bridges the gap. As a non-profit international organization with headquarters in the Republic of Korea, a regional office in Sweden, and collaborating centers in Ethiopia, Ghana, and Madagascar, IVI develops new and improved vaccines, making them accessible to the people who need them most. We are there at every step, from vaccine discovery in the lab to vaccine delivery in communities, and every step in between: epidemiology to identify major global pathogens, lab research to create new vaccines for high-burden diseases, phase 1 through 3 clinical trials to help develop vaccines and gain approvals, impact studies to show economic and social benefits of vaccines, advocacy and training to build capacity everywhere we work, and helping governments vaccinate their populations to reduce human suffering from preventable infectious diseases. We work with governments, companies, foundations, universities, hospitals, and other non-profit organizations to take innovative vaccine technology from need to impact. Our commitment to prioritizing poverty-associated infectious diseases led to the world's first affordable oral cholera vaccine and a new generation typhoid conjugate vaccine. Our priority disease areas also include chikungunya, shigella, salmonella, schistosomiasis, group A strep, hepatitis E, HPV, and COVID-19, in addition to global health issues such as antimicrobial resistance. We believe a world free of vaccine-preventable infectious diseases is possible. Join us in building a healthier, safer, and more equitable world.
Distinguished guests, the 2024 IVI-SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Award ceremony will begin once everyone is in their seats. If you are outside, this is your final call to please come inside and take your designated seats. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 2024 IVI-SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Award ceremony hosted by the International Vaccine Institute. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Natasha, and as a former dentist who once dreamt of becoming a medical researcher, it is my absolute honor and delight to be serving as the MC for this remarkable occasion. Now, since we are in Korea, I will greet you in Korean as well. 인사드리겠습니다. 저는 오늘 행사의 진행을 맡은 아나운서 서미소랑입니다. 반갑습니다. Thank you very much. The IVI-SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Award began back in 2021, and it was hosted by the International Vaccine Institute in collaboration with SK Bioscience to commemorate the legacy of their late Vice Chairman, Dr. Park MahnHoon. Now, this year, the 2024 award honors 3 individuals for their extraordinary contributions to the discovery, development, and delivery of vaccines and the consequent advancement of global health. Now, to begin, we have an opening performance by the IVI's Giving Ambassador, violinist Lee Sang-hee and friends. Please give them a very warm welcome. Thank you very much for your wonderful performance. They will be giving another performance near the end of this night, so please look forward to that as well. But first, we have a short video in honor of the late SK Bioscience Vice Chairman, Dr. Park MahnHoon. We ask for your attention to the screen.
저희 부회장님 하면 따뜻함과 와인이라고 생각합니다. 와인이 시간이 가면 갈수록 오크통에서 그 가치가 더 숙성되는 것처럼 저희 부회장님하고 만남의 시간이 가면 갈수록 그 따뜻함과 그 성수, 그 숙성의 시간들이 저희에게 더 깊게 와닿았던 것 같습니다.
여러 이야기들이 떠오르지만 부회장님에 대한 가장 큰 이미지는 천재가 아닐까 싶어요. 별도의 사전 준비 없이도 회의에 들어가셔서 저에게 가르침을 주셨던 모습이 인상적으로 기억이 남네요.
사적인 자리에선 엄청 편안하게 대해주시는 분이셨어요. 일상의 소소한 얘기도 자상하게 말씀해 주시고 버스를 타고 신혼여행 갔었던 말씀도 해주셨거든요. 그래서 친한 형님과 같은 분이셨습니다.
필요할 때 또 옆에서 그 든든하게 저희를 지원해주는 지원군이기도 하셨고요. 여러 가지 면에서 저희는 감히 쫓아갈 수 없는 큰 어른이고 또 큰 언덕이라는 생각이 듭니다.
모든 일을 할 때는 정말 꼼꼼하게 해야 된다. 꼼꼼하게 해야 됨에도 불구하고 전체를 숲을 보는 그런 조망하는 것도 함께 갖고 있어야 된다.
작은 것까지 하나도 소홀함 없이 진행하시는 분이셨던 것 같아요. 그 미팅을 준비할 때 정말 사소하게는 세세한 폰트체, 그 다음에 컬러감, 그 다음에 회의를 진행하는 장소, 파트너사별로 미팅 때 식사 메뉴 선정까지 작은 거 하나 허투루 준비하는 법이 없으셨던 분이고요.
열심히 하는 것이 중요하지 않고 잘하는 것이 중요하다고 항상 얘기를 하셨어요. 그 말의 기본적인 백그라운드는 잘하려면 당연히 열심히 해야 되는 것이기 때문에 열심히 하는 건 기본이다.
2천억이 넘는 건축비와 장비, 설비를 구매할 때도 특히 청렴하고 공정하게 진행하도록 실무자들에게 지시를 하셨습니다. 저뿐만 아니라 모든 구성원들도 그 원칙을 높게 받들어서 지금 업무를 수행하고 있습니다.
항상 감사했고 항상 마음속에 있고 저희가 더 좋은 것들로 더 멋있는 것들로 부회장님의 그 가르침을 저희 후배들한테 나눠줄 수 있기를 기대하겠습니다.
저뿐만이 아닌 모두가 감사하는 마음을 가지고 있다는 것을 알아주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 사실 지금의 SK 바이오사이언스가 이뤄낸 성과들은 부회장님께서 만드신 거나 다름없다고 생각합니다. 정말 감사드리고 잊지 않고 기억하겠습니다.
말씀하셨던 모든 것들을, 그다음에 행동으로 보여주셨던 모든 것들을 가슴에 정말 깊이 새겨서 부회장님이 어디서 보셔도 정말 너희들 잘했구나, 내가 이루고 싶었던 꿈들을 너희들이 다 이루었구나 할 수 있도록 노력을 하고 싶습니다.
우리의 시작이 된 사람이 있습니다. 끝이 보이지 않는 머나먼 여정의 선두에서 명확한 목표와 나아갈 방향을 제시한 사람. 무모한 도전이 아닌 실현 가능한 그림을 그려내는 통찰력. 구성원뿐만 아니라 파트너들조차 당신의 목소리에 귀를 기울일 수밖에 없게 만들었던 설득력. 그 모든 것들을 가능케 했던 당신의 섬세함은 오늘날 SK 바이오사이언스가 성장하는 원동력이 되었습니다. 어떤 이에겐 기댈 수 있는 언덕이었으며 또 어떤 이에겐 끝을 알 수 없는 태산과도 같았던 당신. 세포 배양 기술을 바탕으로 안전한 백신의 개발과 백신의 국산화를 이뤄 국내 백신 주권 확립에 앞장섰던 당신의 어른. 앞으로 SK 바이오사이언스의 새로운 100년에도 남아 함께할 것입니다. 지금의 우리에 대한 평판은 당신이 존중하고 지켜내려 했던 가치에서 비롯되었으며 그 가치들은 다시 우리의 명성이 되었습니다. 오늘의 우리는 당신의 노력 그 자체이며 내일의 우리 또한 당신과 함께함을 잊지 않겠습니다. 이제 우리는 당신의 이야기를 기억하며 앞으로의 내일을 만들어 가겠습니다.
Now I'd like to invite Dr. Jerome Kim, the Director General of IVI, for his welcome remarks. Please greet him with a warm round of applause.
Good evening. Professor Jan Holmgren, Professors Barney Graham and Jason McLellan, Dr. Youngmi Ji, Commissioner of the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, Ms. Joy Sakurai, Deputy Chief of Mission of the United States to Korea, Mr. Lars Hammarström, Head of the Office of Science and Innovation, the Embassy of Sweden in Seoul, Mr. Jae-young Ahn, President of SK Bioscience, and particularly Ms. Lee Hee, the wife of the late Vice Chairman. Distinguished guests, on behalf of the International Vaccine Institute, it's my pleasure to welcome you all. Thank you for joining us in person or virtually for the 2024 IVI-SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Award ceremony. IVI is truly privileged to honor the recipients of the third Park MahnHoon Award, Professor Jan Holmgren, Professors Barney Graham, and Jason McLellan. I would particularly like to thank you for sharing your research findings and insights into the future of vaccines by giving us a series of lectures here and interacting with students at both Yonsei University and Seoul National. And tomorrow you'll be going to the Korea Disease Control Agency and sharing your insights there as well. Vaccines, we know, are one of the world's most cost-effective interventions. Vaccines have provided a crucial solution to infectious disease threats globally, including, most recently, the COVID-19 pandemic. As the world's only international organization devoted to the discovery, development, and delivery of vaccines for global health, IVI is dedicated to accelerate the development, manufacture, and importantly, the equitable use of vaccines against neglected infectious diseases and poverty-associated infectious diseases of global health significance. The IVI-SK Bioscience Park MahnHoon Award is a part of our two organizations' concerted efforts to promote the science of vaccines and the global vaccine industry. The previous awardees are some of the greatest vaccinologists and health leaders, including Dr. Tori Godal, Professors Drew Weissman, Katalin Caraco in 2022, Drs. Rino Rappuoli and Maria Grazia Pizza, and Professor Andrew Pollard and Sarah Gilbert in 2023. Among this year's awardees, Professor Holmgren developed the world's first, second, and third oral cholera vaccines, and really needs to be congratulated for the contribution of this very critical intervention to global health. We are today, despite these discoveries, in the middle of a global shortage of oral cholera vaccine, to the point where the global stockpile has been completely depleted, and we are dependent on the monthly production of oral cholera vaccine by a single company in South Korea. Now, we hope that that will change, and innovations made in the second or third of Dr. Jan Holmgren's oral cholera vaccines has not only decreased the cost of production, but increased the volume of production at the same time with similar efficacy. And that's the kind of innovation for global health that the world needs. Professors Graham and McLellan have significantly advanced our understanding of the antigen, that is, the thing that we make vaccine-induced immune responses to. But it's not just a single pathogen that we're congratulating them for with this award. It's the development of an understanding of the structure of the targets that we use for vaccine development that allowed us to make, first, vaccines against COVID-19, and then extending technology and work that Dr. Graham had done for the 20 years prior to joining the National Institutes of Health on respiratory syncytial virus have led to the approval of 2, and maybe soon a third, new vaccine against RSV. Vaccines that will protect not only the young, but the elderly. Very important contributions. And of course, Dr. McLellan's role here is, I think, in part due to chance, because he was relocated because of the lack of space to the 3rd floor where he could interact with Dr. Graham. And this is the kind of serendipity and also the kind of work that we do in science that I think Dr. Graham had argued justifies investments in basic science research, because we don't know what those discoveries will be and how important they will be until we're called upon to deploy something quickly in an emergency like COVID-19. So we're honored to have these 3 vaccine pioneers on the 3rd anniversary of the late Dr. Park's death. On this occasion, we're also privileged to have Ms. Mi-Hye Lee, the wife of the late Dr. Park. Dr. Park, former vice chairman of SK bioscience, was a visionary in the Korean vaccine industry. He spearheaded the development of several vaccines crucial for global health. Thanks to his vision and leadership, IVI and SK bioscience have successfully collaborated on the development of a new typhoid conjugate vaccine, which is now WHO pre-qualified, and a COVID-19 vaccine, which is not only emergency use listed, but also has approvals not only in Korea, but elsewhere in the world by stringent regulatory authorities. I think a symbol that SK bioscience really is a global company capable of doing work and vaccine development on par with all the companies in the United States and Europe. So congratulations again to SK bioscience, and we thank you for your continued partnership with IVI. The COVID-19 vaccine was WHO emergency use listed last year, and again, the typhoid conjugate vaccine was pre-qualified. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so enthusiastic about these awardees. Building upon the legacies of the late Dr. Park and today's awardees, IVI will continue its endeavors for our mission to discover, develop, and deliver safe, effective, and affordable vaccines for global health. In partnership with SK bioscience, we'll continue to identify and honor global vaccine pioneers, innovators, people who've protected children, the elderly, and people all over the world who would otherwise not have effective preventive measures against infectious diseases. Taking this opportunity, I'd like to also thank the unsung members of the award selection committee, led by Dr. Christian Mandl, who at that point was the chair of our scientific advisory group and is now joined the board and will lead the Science Committee of the Board of Trustees. And Professor Sang-Chul Park, President of the Korea Support Committee for IVI, which has done a remarkable job in raising not only funding for IVI, but raising awareness of IVI in Korean society. I'd also like to thank all of you who've joined us today, and I hope that you find this event meaningful and enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jerome Kim, for your warm welcome. Now we're pleased to have Mr. Jae-yong An, the CEO of SK Bioscience, for his welcome address. Please greet him with a big hand.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to sincerely congratulate the recipients of 2024 Park MahnHoon Award, Professor Jan Holmgren, Professor Barney Graham, and Professor Jason McLellan. I hope I pronounce your name properly. I'm truly grateful for the significant contribution you have made to vaccine research and development for healthy humanity. I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Commissioner Ji Young-mi of the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, who has taken precious steps to honor the dedication of today's awardees. Additionally, I express my gratitude to Director General Jerome Kim of the International Vaccine Institute, as well as every person who has involved in the selection process for the Park MahnHoon Award. I'd like to also extend my gratitude to Ms. Joy Sakurai, Deputy Chief of Mission of U.S. Embassy, and Dr. Lars Hammarström, Head of Office of Science and Innovation of Embassy of Sweden, despite of the very busy schedules. There is someone I'd like to especially acknowledge with deep respect, even though already Jerome introduced her, Mrs. Lee Mi-hee, the wife of the late Vice Chairman Park MahnHoon. Her presence at today's ceremony has a special meaning to the occasion. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to her on behalf of SK Bioscience and all of the participants. This year marks the third Park MahnHoon Award. It means 3 years already have passed since the Vice Chairman Park's departure. However, it feels like just yesterday that we work hard together, day and night, to develop our own vaccines to contribute to human health. Back then, I had meetings with him every single day. Actually, I took the vaccine responsibility from 2016, around 8 years ago. My major is economics and business. So, according to my memory, Dr. Park MahnHoon didn't like me, because I'm not the expert in vaccine. I won't lie. One day, Dr. Park MahnHoon asked me to have a daily meeting for an hour, ending up 3 hours daily from 2018 for 3 to 4 years. Looking back, it was not easy, but I missed that time. It was an invaluable memory, and he gave me a lot of living lessons. Of course, it was not easy. If I recall Dr. MahnHoon Park, he was not only a leading vaccine researcher, but also a great leader of SK Bioscience, always guiding us on the right path, as you may already saw in the earlier video. Since he joined SK 2008, and he led R&D center. Basically, there was nothing in SK. He started from zero. Eventually, he made the concrete foundation of SK bioscience of today. In a way, I would say he's a very romantic guy. I'm not sure, Mihe will agree with me. We all know that he's a robust businessman and scientist, but in the other hand, he loves poetry. I met his university alumnus, Dr. Lee Myung-chul over there, and he still remembers that. He loves the poetry, and he loves Dr. Park MahnHoon. He loves wine. He loves music, and I'm pretty sure that more than that, he loved his wife Mihe the best in the world. Following Dr. MahnHoon Park's footsteps, I'm trying to be a cool-headed business person at work while being a romantic who respects and loves my wife. The Park MahnHoon Award has been established to honor the late Vice Chairman Park's passion for vaccines. Now, it is the responsibility of the younger generation to nurture his passion for vaccine research and to pass it on to future generations. I believe that this year's awardees are the pioneers for humanity, just like Park MahnHoon. I would like to convey my deep respect once again and ask for the continued efforts of many successors to carry on the late Vice Chairman Park's will and passion. While commemorating the achievement of the late Vice Chairman Park and inheriting his passion for vaccine research, SK Bioscience will pledge its unwavering commitment to promoting global health as envisioned by the late Vice Chairman Park. Once again, I'd like to extend my sincere congratulations to the three awardees and recipients, and I wish that the warmth and happiness of spring find their way into everyone's home and lives today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. An, for your warm welcome and for sharing those personal stories and experiences with the late Vice Chairman, Dr. Park. This time, we would also like to invite the Honorable Dr. Youngmi Ji, Commissioner of the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, for the congratulatory remarks. Please give her a big hand.
Good evening. It is my great privilege to participate in the IVI and SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Award ceremony on behalf of Korean government. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Jerome Kim, Director General of International Vaccine Institute, and Jae-young An, CEO of SK Bioscience, for organizing this extraordinary event. My appreciation also goes to its distinguished guests from Korea and abroad. Professor Jan Holmgren, Professor Barney Graham, and Professor Jason McLellan, I'd like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to you for receiving this Park MahnHoon Award today, for making the most admirable achievement for humanity in the field of vaccines. As we all experienced from COVID-19 pandemic, developing and supplying safe and effective vaccines is essential to overcome emerging infectious diseases, in addition to agile responses in expanding laboratory testing and advancing epidemiological investigation and treatment. Moreover, vaccines stand as a crucial tool in our collective efforts against future health crises, preventing and mitigating emerging infectious diseases. This award ceremony is very timely since this week is World Immunization Week, and this year is 50th anniversary of establishing the expanded program on immunization in WHO in 1974. The number of recommended vaccines was 6 at that time, but now increased to 30, and more than 4 million deaths are averted every year thanks to immunization. The dedication and remarkable commitment of awardees today have not only saved countless lives around the world, but also have paved the way for developing effective vaccines. Professor Jan Holmgren's oral cholera vaccine is a game changer in our fight against cholera by greatly benefiting people in the low and middle income countries. As a result, this vaccine has emerged as an essential means for implementing the WHO strategy ending cholera, a global roadmap to 2030. Professor Barney Graham and Professor Jason McLellan's contribution has been instrumental in developing COVID-19 mRNA vaccine together with Moderna and the world's first RSV vaccine using the innovative structure-based design. The adoption of innovative technology has led to developing COVID-19 mRNA vaccine in less than 1 year, and as a result, we were able to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic, which lasts for years. And recently, international organizations and many countries have been embarking on various global and national level projects by adopting a paradigm shift that was proven during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency also announced the National Pandemic Preparedness and Response Plan in May last year. As a priority of this plan, we are preparing a national plan to develop vaccines and therapeutics in 100 or 200 days of a pandemic. Such groundbreaking vaccine technology that was pioneered by 3 awardees today is not only attributable to tireless efforts of scientists, but also is an important milestone for global health security. Once again, I'd like to extend my sincere appreciation and congratulations to 3 awardees, and also IVI and SK Bioscience for organizing this award ceremony. And let's work together to make it possible for everyone to benefit from the life-saving vaccines. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ji, for your warm remarks. We will now proceed with the awarding to present the 2024 Park MahnHoon Award to the 3 esteemed recipients. For the first award, Dr. Lars Hammarström, Head of the Office of Science and Innovation at the Embassy of Sweden in Seoul, will take the podium to introduce Professor Jan Holmgren, who is from Sweden. Please give him a big hand.
Dr. Jerome Kim, Mr. Jae-Young An, Dr. Youngmi Ji, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. As a today bureaucrat that used to be able to call himself a scientist, it's a great pleasure for me to be here this evening to introduce and honor a legend in the Swedish life science community, Professor Jan Holmgren, as a recipient of the 2024 IVI-SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Prize. Professor Holmgren is awarded this prize for his pioneering work in the development of oral cholera vaccines and his continued important role in the global fight against cholera. His research career spans over decades, having received numerous awards and accolades, authoring over 600 publications, serving on the boards of dozens of foundations, companies, and scientific institutions. His work has, in a significant way, advanced our overall knowledge about mucosal immunity and mucosal vaccines. And most importantly, perhaps, his work has directly and indirectly saved countless lives. After his research training and medical studies at the University of Gothenburg, Professor Holmgren began his long research career on cholera, together with his colleague and partner Ann-Marie Svennerholm. Their research brought forth fundamental new knowledge on cholera pathophysiology and immune mechanisms. He was first to describe the cholera toxin subunit structure and function, also identifying the cholera toxin receptor itself. Importantly, he also discovered that gut immunization response induced upon oral administration of cholera vaccines was superior to that of parenteral administration. And this opened the way for the development of Dukoral, the world's first internationally licensed and WHO pre-qualified oral cholera vaccine. Professor Holmgren's contributions to global health and vaccine development extend beyond the research he has pioneered. He has donated vaccine strains and provided technical assistance to vaccine manufacturers in Vietnam and India for local production of affordable oral cholera vaccine with support from IVI and other institutions. Dr. Holmgren is still active as a senior professor of medical microbiology at the University of Gothenburg, where he's the founding director of the Gothenburg University Vaccine Research Institute. Here, his lab, together with colleagues and partner organizations around the world, continue to advance the field of cholera vaccine research. So as a humble public servant, it also makes me proud that the Swedish government has in various ways been able to support almost every stage of his development of these vaccines through public research funding and through public institutions. It's also especially rewarding that this prize is presented on behalf of a visionary company such as IVI-SK bioscience, and also on behalf of IVI, which is an organization with which Sweden has such an important and fruitful relationship as collaborators and members, but also as a host for their European regional office. So with that, please join me in welcoming to the stage and congratulating the legendary Professor Holmgren for his achievements.
Dr. Youngmi Ji and Dr. Jerome Kim, could you also please step forward to the stage to present the award and flowers. The award will be presented by Dr. Youngmi Ji and flowers presented by Dr. Jerome Kim. We will... So please. The plaque reads, the IVI-SK Bioscience Park MahnHoon Award, presented to Jan Holmgren for his extraordinary contributions to the development and delivery of vaccines for global health. April 25, 2024. Everyone, please join me in giving Professor Jan Holmgren a big round of applause. Now for the group photograph, I would also like to invite to the stage Dr. John Clemens. Dr. John Clemens, who is not only IVI's first Director General, but also Professor Holmgren's 40-year partner and friend. Please give him a big hand. Okay, could we have a look at the cameras straight ahead of you for the group photograph? While they are taking the group photograph, everyone please join me in once again congratulating our first recipient. You may please return to your seats. Professor Holmgren, may we ask for your acceptance speech?
Well, thank you so much to Lars Hammarström for the introduction. And of course, it is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to receive the 2024 Park MahnHoon Award, which has become the world's foremost distinction in the field of vaccinology, and which I accept with sincere gratitude. It is also a special privilege to receive this award together with Professors Barney Graham and Jason McLellan, whose work I have admired over many years. Let me also express my humble thanks to the distinguished Park MahnHoon Award Selection Committee for selecting me for this prestigious award. I was overwhelmed when getting the message from Professor Jerome King that I had been selected for the award, and also totally surprised since I had no idea that I had been nominated. The committee's choice is, of course, also an important acknowledgement of the significance of oral cholera vaccine, the importance it has had and continues to have in saving lives and preventing cholera in poor and underprivileged populations all around the world. As such, it should also serve as an urgent plea to the world to ensure that the global cholera vaccine production can be increased rapidly to overcome the now very critical shortage of vaccine in the last several years and meet the future needs. Only so can the WHO roadmap for ending cholera by 2030 be true. I have been working as a cholera researcher for almost my whole scientific career. Modern science, and especially true for vaccine development research, is a teamwork. Too many collaborators to name here, both in Sweden and internationally, have contributed to the work I'm recognized for today. And it's a privilege to thank all warmly. Two long-time collaborators, however, stand out as those who have meant the most and who deserve my special thanks and appraisal. One is my first student, a later career-long collaborator and the life partner, Anne-Marie Svenneron, Professor Anne-Marie Svenneron, whom I thank for her invaluable contributions in defining the protective immune mechanisms in cholera, and also in collaborating so closely in our first OCV development. The other is Professor John Clemens, for 40 years of collaboration and friendship, and his many pivotal contributions to cholera vaccine field, all the way from being the first to demonstrate the efficacy of oral cholera vaccines in large field trials, to show the importance of herd protection for increasing the total impact of vaccination, and as the first director of IVI, for building the investment case evidence for Gavi's support of the oral cholera vaccine stockpile, and more. This also gives me the opportunity to draw attention to IVI's many pivotal contributions to the cholera vaccine field, also more recently. IVI was essential in the technology transfer of the cholera vaccine to EU Biologics, which is now the sole vaccine provider to the global stockpile. And IVI has continued to provide technical assistance and support to this company in its development of modified vaccines for expanded vaccine production. Likewise, IVI has provided similar support to companies in Bangladesh and in South Africa for their as yet more limited production of OCV. It is a privilege to also acknowledge IVI's leadership in the current development project together with my group in Sweden in what we hope will be a third-generation vaccine which could be fully thermostable and also have a higher efficacy than the current versions. I had the privilege to follow IVI's remarkable growth and success in the first decade under Dr. Clement's directorship. It is now a very special pleasure for me to return to IVI, which under Dr. Kim's leadership has further thrived and matured to become the globally important, prominent vaccine research institute it is today. Again, my sincere thanks to IVI and to SK Bioscience for the wonderful honor they have given me with this award. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Jan Holmgren, for your work and for your speech, and congratulations once again. Please give him a big round of applause as he returns to his seat. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Joy Sakurai, the Deputy Head of Mission of the United States to Korea, to introduce Professors Barney Graham and Jason McLellan, who are from the US. Please welcome her with a warm round of applause.
I have to do this at every event. The mic is always a little too tall for me. Good evening, everybody. It is such an honor to be here for this distinguished event. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and distinguished members of the IVI and SK bioscience teams, and my sincerest gratitude to Dr. Jerome Kim and Chairman An Jae-young for hosting this event. As we all know, today we come together to recognize exceptional contributions to global health, exemplified by this 2024 IVI-SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Awards. It is my privilege and honor to introduce two outstanding recipients of this prestigious award and two fellow Americans, Dr. Barney S. Graham and Dr. Jason McLellan. Their groundbreaking work in structural vaccinology and vaccine technology has been instrumental in the development of mRNA COVID-19 vaccines and other innovative immunization strategies. Let me first introduce Dr. Barney Graham. He is a luminary in the field of immunology, virology, and vaccinology. His pioneering research on viral pathogenesis and vaccine development, including pivotal studies on RSV pathogenesis and mRNA delivery technology, has significantly advanced our understanding of vaccine science. Dr. Graham's illustrious career at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, or NIAID, Vaccine Research Center, and his ongoing commitment to global health equity exemplify his extraordinary dedication to public service. And he is no stranger to Korea. For over the last 20 years, he has come back many times to share exchange views on research and to reconnect with friends. I might also add that he has lived while conducting research and working very hard in three wonderful parts of the United States. He studied and researched at the University of Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee, at the NIH, as I mentioned, which is located just outside of Washington, D.C. in Bethesda, Maryland, and now is currently in Atlanta and Morehouse University. Americans are very competitive about which city or which university is the best, so I'm not going to create any kind of conflict here between our two American professors, but let's just say that's a pretty impressive list of places that he's studied at and worked at. And so his work is not just important scientifically, but I also wanted to mention that Dr. Graham continues to impact millions of lives, including the most vulnerable among us. His contributions have distinguished him as a leader in the approach to current viral pathogens and the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as a futurist in anticipating and preparing for emerging pathogens with pandemic potential. As we all know, that is so important, and we look forward to seeing where Dr. Graham takes his work in the future. Similarly, Dr. Jason McLellan's contributions to vaccine development has been extraordinary. His expertise in biophysics, coupled with his innovative approaches to understanding viral proteins, has revolutionized vaccine design. Dr. McLellan's seminal work on engineering key proteins in coronaviruses has been integral to developing multiple COVID-19 vaccines and holds promise for combating other deadly pathogens like RSV. He is one of the inventors of a way to engineer acute protein in coronaviruses, and the technology his team developed can be found in many leading vaccines against COVID-19. His research and expertise have been featured in multiple international and American media outlets, including CNN, Fox News, The New York Times, The New Yorker, Washington Post, and National Geographic. And he is currently at the University of Texas at Austin. Again, I'm not going to try to create any kind of rivalry between the two competing institutions there, but I have to say both Morehouse and UT Austin are very well known and well known for schools that know how to have fun. Dr. Graham and Dr. McLellan's contributions exemplify the power of collaboration and innovation in advancing all of the global health security that matters so much, if I may say, for my own work as a diplomat. As we all know, building those relationships between countries is so integral to the daily lives of people both in Korea and the United States and in Sweden. We're all after the pursuit of peace, prosperity, happiness, and health and security. And we can't get these things done if we don't have those collaborative ties and cooperation that bring us all of that. And so I do want to say the ties that we have built, the United States with Korea, are extraordinary, and we look forward to seeing them strengthen and continue as the years go on. So I want to also say, I think that we have a lot of universal languages in the room here, not just the language of science and research, but music. I learned that all of our musicians are actually not professional musicians, even though it sounds like they are, but this is actually a passion and their hobbies. I wanted to recognize their performance as well. So congratulations again to the Park MahnHoon organization for creating this exceptional award. Congratulations to Dr. Holmgren, and most of all, congratulations again to Dr. Graham and Dr. McLellan on this well-deserved honor. I will close with my favorite. I don't speak Korean myself, but I do know a few phrases. My favorite phrase in Korean, which I think ties together what we do here today, is 같이 갑시다, which is we go together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Joy Sakurai, for...
I think I should call them to the stage, right? I'm sorry. So may I have Dr. Graham and Dr. McLellan please come up.
Everyone, please join me in welcoming Professors Barney Graham and Jason McLellan up to the stage. Once again, Dr. G and Dr. Kim, please also step up to the stage, and Mr. An as well. Thank you very much. The first plaque will be awarded to Professor Graham. The IVI-SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Award presented to Barney Graham for his extraordinary contributions to the development and delivery of vaccines for global health. April 25, 2024. Please give him a big hand. Continuing on, we will award Professor McLellan. The IVI-SK bioscience Park MahnHoon Award presented to Jason McLellan for his extraordinary contributions to the development and delivery of vaccines for global health. April 25, 2024. Congratulations to Professor Jason McLellan. And Mr. Jae-yong An will present the flowers. Congratulations. We will now take a group photograph. Let's congratulate Professors Graham and McLellan for their extraordinary work, and once again for receiving the 2024 IVI-SK Bioscience Park MahnHoon Award. Now we'd like to invite Professor Graham to the podium for his acceptance speech.
Well, thank you. This is such a great honor and a great celebration of the importance of vaccines. And so I want to thank the MahnHoon Park family for your generosity and for your vision. I want to thank IVI and SK Biosciences and the selection committee, and not only for the award, but also for all the work you're doing in the spirit of vaccination. I want to thank my family, especially my wife, who I met in medical school 45 years ago, and I couldn't have gotten through the pandemic without her. She's a psychiatrist. My students and collaborators, especially Dr. McLellan, also Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett, who was so important in those first few months of the pandemic. My mentors from Vanderbilt, who taught me about vaccines. All the VRC investigators that were so important in my life and work during my time at NIH. The NIAID leadership who supported our work and who also made the rapid progress and development possible during COVID. All the clinical trial investigators and volunteers who were involved in the work of getting this approved in 1 year. I'm grateful for the privilege I've had to work with people and resources that have allowed me to have a life in science and public health. I don't take that for granted. I'm amazed by the tools we have now to understand biology in such depth. And I'm hopeful that our policies and practices can keep up with the technology advances. There's a lot of work to do there. I also look forward to working with my new colleagues at the Morehouse School of Medicine, where the emphasis is on global health equity to achieve health justice. To me, this means that everyone has what they need to achieve a level of health that allows them to lead purposeful lives and reach their full potential. Thank you again, and Dr. McLellan, you can come up and give your remarks.
Thank you very much, Professor Graham, for your inspiring words. It is now time for Professor McLellan to share his acceptance speech.
Barney, you left your stuff. Okay, I'll give it to you. I got you. Okay. All right. I'd like to start off just by saying thank you to everyone showing up for tonight for the recognition. I'd like to thank Dr. Park MahnHoon and his family. It's been a pleasure to learn about him and his dedication to SK, to vaccines, cell culture. I'd like to thank IVI and SK Bio for supporting and hosting this event, bringing recognition to vaccine research, which I think is critical, especially at a time when there's a lot of misinformation in the internet, vaccine hesitancy. I think it's important to recognize the benefit that vaccines have had on human health. I'd like to thank the selection committee for choosing me, so I appreciate that and the thought that went into that. I'd like to thank my family, my wife, Janelle, 2 children, Gavin and Kaya, and also my parents, who just instilled in me a work ethic, no matter what I did, to do my best. They never put any pressure on me to go in any particular direction. I was the first in my family to go to college. They just wanted me to be happy and do something I loved. And I love doing science. I love going to work every day. And I just hope my own children can one day find something they love as much as that. I'd like to thank all of my students that I've had over the years, my collaborators. The work that we do is highly collaborative. We just do one small part of all the work it takes to make a vaccine. A lot of that is sort of unseen, even the production, manufacturing, delivery, all of it's so critical to getting vaccines out. So I've been very fortunate in my relatively short career to work with amazing people, just incredible students, trainees, postdocs, collaborators, and of course, most important is Barney. That was a life-changing moment when I first met Barney, and the work we got to do together on RSV really drove my passion for virology, for vaccinology, and the way he carries himself, interacts with people, his generosity, kindness. He's always promoted me in my career, helped get me funding, nominated me for awards. And I think we need more of that in science. We need people who are kind and generous, and I think the world would be a much better place if we had more Barney Grahams in it. So I try to live my life professionally and take after Barney. So Barney, thank you for all that you have done. And maybe just to end, I've really enjoyed, this is my second visit to Korea in about 6 months, and I've just been really impressed, really enjoyed learning more about Korea, the culture, the people, the science. Really excited to hopefully continue to work with SK, IVI, other Korean investigators to try to create vaccines. So thank you for your hospitality and kindness, and thank you for the award.
Thank you very much, Professor McLellan, for your speech. Before you actually sit down, Professor McLellan, could we invite you back up to the stage, as well as our two other recipients for the awardees' photographs. So Professor Holmgren and Professor Graham, could we ask for your presence back up on the stage as well? We will take the awardees' photograph. Could we ask you to step one? Yes, thank you very much. Please congratulate Professors Holmgren, Professor Graham, and Professor McLellan. They are the honorable recipients of the 2024 Park MahnHoon Award. Thank you very much. Do not escape yet. Please stay up on the stage. Please stay up. Do not escape. Not yet. Not yet. I'd like to invite Dr. Kim, Mr. An, Professor, please stay up there. Dr. Kim and Mr. An, could we invite you up to the stage? We will take a picture with the 5 gentlemen up on the stage. Dr. G as well, please. 네, 다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. Big smiles, please. Now for this next round, Ms. Sakurai, Dr. Hammarström, and Dr. Clemens, please join our recipients up on the stage, please. Thank you very much. Congratulations to our 3 recipients. You may now return to your seats. As we promised before, we have another music performance. Please welcome Ms. Lee Sang-hee and friends as they perform another music piece for us. Now, as many from the International Vaccine Institute are already well aware, Lee Sang-hee and friends are a group of some 100 musicians led by violinist Ms. Lee Sang-hee. And they're united by their desire to give back to the community through their musical talents. And they have been holding annual benefit concerts for IVI for a very long time. In fact, their upcoming concert in August will be their 20th benefit concert for the International Vaccine Institute. And tonight we are joined by not only Lee Sang-hee, but violin concertmaster Mr. Cho Jun-hui and clarinet concertmaster Mr. Seo Man-bok. So as the three musicians come up to the stage, I would like to ask you to greet them with a very warm round of applause. Okay, the stage is set up. Please welcome Lee Sang-hee and friends. Once again, violinist Lee Sang-hee, Mr. Cho Jun-hui, and Mr. Seo Man-bok. Please give them a big hand.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are Lee Sang-hee and Friends Orchestra, the giving messenger and giving ambassador of IVI. We are pleased to perform for such an auspicious occasion for congratulating recipients of Park MahnHoon Award. Thank you very much for everyone in IVI-SK bioscience and IVI Secretary General Jerome Kim. Inspired by outstanding achievements of recipients, we hope that we, Lee Sang-hee and Friends, help children in need. Our philanthropic endeavors will continue as we prepare our 22nd concert, and we will donate our profits to the charity as we have done until now. Before we go any further, I just want to talk about myself and Seo Man-bok, clarinetist Man-bok Seo. IVI and SK is very special for us. We can stand here because of our IVI giving ambassador, Lee Sang-hee. So she led us and she made us to come stand this great and honorable place. So I just can I ask you for the clap to our teachers, Lee Sang-hee. And in case of SK, I had played fencing competition SK last year, and I got silver medals on there. So IVI and SK, both of them, are very special and meaningful, and it's such an honor that we can stand here and have performance. Today, Professor Sang-hee Lee, pianist Lee Go-hun, clarinetist Seo Man-bok, and me, Peter Cho, are privileged to perform Chardash in celebration. Let us be inspired by Park MahnHoon Award recipients' distinguished achievements. Thank you.
I love IVI and I love all the people who love IVI. Thank you.
Please give Ms. Lee Sang-hee, Mr. Jo Jun-hui, and Mr. Seo Man-bok another round of applause. And with that, we will conclude the award ceremony of the 2024 IVI-SK Bioscience Park MahnHoon Award. On behalf of the International Vaccine Institute and SK Bioscience, I'd like to extend my sincerest gratitude to our three recipients, Professor Holmgren, Professor Graham, and Professor McLellan. It is because of your dedication and sacrifice that we as a global community are able to enjoy greater health and safety. So once again, thank you very, very much. Everyone, please join me in giving a big round of thanks to our three recipients, Professor Holmgren, Professor Graham, and Professor McLellan. As you can see, the dinner and wine are now beginning to be served. But before that, I would like to invite every single person in this room to please come forward for a massive, giant, big group photograph. I've been told to threaten everyone that unless your face is in this major group photograph, you will not be served dinner. So everyone, please step forward. Everyone, that includes table 1 all the way through to 11 and 12. Please step forward right now for the group photograph.